Welcome back, wonderful humans. I'm Danielle, and I currently live alone and trying to shift towards healthy meals whilst remaining on a budget. I made sure to do a shopping list for Lidl this week, and it ended up working out because I spent £28 and 40 pence. And I did it so that I ended up getting quite a few different herbs and spices for a few recipes as well. And at the end, I'll share with you exactly what my meal plan is for the week. But I did get a white cabbage, a fairly small one, or at least one of the smaller ones that they had. And then not for this week, but I did get a red cabbage because I'm going to make up a red cabbage sort of side dish for Christmas and pop it in the freezer to take over to my mum's for when obviously the Christmas dinner as well. And then my mum got a pack of 2 leeks because you can't get them individually in our Lidl at least. So she gave me one. So that didn't cost anything. And I'm sure I'll be able to incorporate that into a few meals somewhere along the lines as well. Then I got a bag of sweet and crunchy salad. Obviously, nothing super fancy, but it does add a nice little bit of crunch and colour to a few meals as well. And then I got some raspberries. I still have some blueberries that are currently sitting in my freezer, but I got some raspberries to be able to put towards my breakfast, either with some overnight oats or just with a little bit of yogurt as well. And I got some shallots. Few recipes wanted them, and I do find that these obviously sometimes work out a bit better than putting an onion into something. So I decided to get those, and they only had the deluxe bagged version of them. And then a recipe called for a red pepper, and there was a price cut on it, as well as then a little plus discount. So that came in at 45 pence, which isn't too bad for a red pepper. And then I got a cucumber, and yes, I did spend a little while immaturely laughing at the shape of the cucumber in the store. So that's the one I ended up deciding to pick up. I also got a couple more bulbs of garlic. I'd completely used all of mine up. And I know that quite a few different recipes I was looking at recommended 2 to 3. So I figured that I'd get a couple just in case to make sure I had more than enough, especially because it won't obviously go off immediately. The fun size e peelers weren't technically on my list, but I was just feeling a bit of extra fruit and that they'd be good if I do end up wanting a few snacks throughout the day as well. So I just grabbed those. Then I also got some chicken thigh fillets. They didn't have any just chicken thighs, or rather they did, but they only had the super large packs of them. I don't need to have that many, so I just got that medium pack instead. Then I got a bag of carrots. A few recipes did call for carrots, and again, I figured that I'd just be able to chop them up and perhaps have them as some snacks here or there as well. I'm definitely trying to get back into consistently sort of having a few healthier meals. And then I just got some reduced fat soft cheese. There's a recipe that mentions wanting some of it. And again, I can always incorporate it into a bit of a snack, say, have it with some of those carrots as well if I wanted to. And then one of the pricier items on my list for the week, I got some grana padano. They didn't have any parmesan in my Lidl, and again, there's a recipe that does call for it. So I figured I'd get some of that. Obviously, it's not quite the same, but it is still at least a hard cheese that I can do. And I'm sure I'll be able to figure out what to do with the rest of it as well. And then I got some reduced fat creme fraiche. I think this makes it down to being sort of about 15% fat. Obviously, still not necessarily the healthiest of things, but definitely pretty good in comparison, at least. And a recipe calls for rice wine vinegar. So I just picked up a small bottle of that. And that'll obviously last me a pretty long time, given how infrequently I'll be using it as well. And then this what also wasn't on my list, but I wanted to get some Schlur. I've been drinking quite a lot of my gin recently, and I did just want to perhaps have a bit of a sort of something that feels a bit fancy, but very clearly isn't actually fancy in any way, and obviously isn't alcoholic either, but has a little bit of nostalgia for me as well. And then on to a few more items here. So I just got under some more quadruple strength apple and blackcurrant squash. I'm almost certainly not going to actually run out of the one that I have this week, but I did want to grab a few more. And then I wanted to get some tagliatelle because of the fact that I had ran out of it, and there is a recipe that I want to do that would be better with tagliatelle over something like spaghetti as well. And little, or at least my little, only had the deluxe fancy version, so that's what I ended up getting. And then onto the herbs and spices. I got some mixed spice. Not that the recipes actually call for it, but I do enjoy having mixed spice around, especially if I go to do some baking. Then I grabbed some oregano as well. But they're not the only spices that I end up getting. There are still a few more to show you as well, and that includes some thyme and some ground ginger. I do have recipes that need both of these, and I don't happen to have them at the moment. And I think it's a good idea for me now that I'm at the point in my life where I sort of do have a bit more spendable income to slowly start to build up my herbs and spices a bit more. So I just got some bay leaves and some rosemary as well, which again, these will last me quite a while, but I quite often look at recipes that involve bay leaves and I'm just like, I don't have any of these, but for just less than a pound, it's not too bad. But yeah, so here's what I end up hopefully planning to have during the week. Obviously, a few things are from recipe books and a few things I'm tweaking from things that I've seen online as well. But I'm not sure on the days that I'll end up having them. It will be based on my energy and my mood on each day. But hopefully, that will give you a bit of inspiration to perhaps figure out what to make for yourself as well and see what sort of things that you might need to be getting from everything that I ended up purchasing as well. But as always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I'd love to know what you're going to be making for the week or perhaps what you've ended up purchasing. But if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll catch you again in the next one.